Now it's time to talk with head women's and men's cross-country head coach Natalie Prather on this segment of the ETBU Coaches Show. Coach Prather, you were coming off another meet where you ran up in Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee. Just kind of talk about that overall.
That's a hard course every year, but it's great. It's probably one of the biggest meets one of the bigger meets that we run at, but it's against a bunch of regional teams, and so we're able to kind of see some of that regional competition. Of course, Rhodes is one of the best teams in our region, so to get to compete against them and Center and several other schools is a great opportunity. When we've got regionals in our mind, it's great for them to see what it's going to take to be able to compete at that level.
Absolutely, Coach, and you said it's always a tough meet. One thing that probably made it even more challenging was all of the D2 opponents and a lot of big-time schools there. So does it just kind of taking you back a little bit from your days of running, did that often make you kind of more nervous or more anxious to run, knowing that you were running in such a big meet, or did it kind of ease your mind or ease your conscience a little bit, saying that this is just a measuring stick?
For me, honestly, I personally never really thought about it. I liked the bigger meets. I knew that it was going to push me a little bit harder. But I know for some it does make some a little bit more nervous, a little bit more excited. I think probably the biggest thing that we always look at bigger meets, and with a pool of faster runners, that just means it's a really fast start. And so you have to be confident in your pacing, your own personal pacing, and your times. Otherwise, you'll get caught up in the excitement and then crash and burn. But that's one thing I was extremely proud of all of our runners. I have never seen a group of freshmen execute their race plan better than this group of freshmen. We had a plan. They had their mile times that they needed to get to, and we were right on the money. And so every time that came across were times that we expected and times we knew that they could do. And so it was exciting to be able to see them run smart and not get caught up in that. So we're just going to be able to improve upon that.
So last week we talked about how this meet was going to be a factor where you were going to come up with a game plan for the rest of this season. And, well, obviously now you got that out of the way. You're now heading up to Fayetteville, Arkansas for the Chili Pepper Festival. Mind you, there's no chili peppers involved. They should just call it that way. That would have been bad if they gave you chili peppers during the meet. But, but in all seriousness, just kind of talk about, what it is about the game plan that you probably have in store for this meet and how it's going to prepare you for the rest of the season.
Well, something that we do, of course, this is giving credit. This is one of Coach Williams' ideas, and it's really a great idea. I give them a race plan for their first 5K, their first 8K, and for this next one coming up, I let them make their game plan, and then we see whose is better. Now, we know that mine is probably going to be better. However, you do find a runner or two that actually really has the way that they race. And, as freshmen, I don't know them all like I will by their sophomore, by their junior, by their, their senior year. And so, take, for instance, Mac Broussard, great running strategy is he's got to go out with that front pack, and then he can hang on. Bo, on the other hand, he holds to his pace, but I've never seen someone that can make every mile faster like clockwork, like Bo can. And they are two completely different race strategies. And so that will be something fun to see who is able to do what. We have a lot of, I would say a lot of smart runners that can think they know what they need to do to execute. And now that they know what that 5 miles is going to feel like, we'll see what they can come up with. But it's going to be fun this weekend. It also will be a lot of heavy competition.
Absolutely, Coach. And last question for you here is, of either group, you guys have been a part of 3 races now, I believe. 3 races.
2 races, actually.
2 races, technically. Okay, so 2 races, technically. So you said that the group of freshmen has really surprised you. We know that Mac has come out really strong, just as he did last year, perhaps even stronger this year. So who else out of your group here has really stepped up and elevated themselves that you hope would also have done that from last year?
So for new people, we're looking at, obviously all of our guys are just improving, but one kid that is kind of just coming out of the woodwork is Tyson Tapp. He came in with one of the slower times and has quickly brought himself up into that front pack, and he has only just begun to kind of even see what his potential is. But you know, he's just an athlete, and so to see him be able to push and bring it down that much time has been really impressive to see what his times were at the beginning of the summer and even at the beginning of this season. You know, on our women's side, of course, Rachel Morrison, our freshman, you know, she is a very, very talented athlete. This past weekend, she had a sprained ankle, but she came in third for our team with a sprained ankle, and bless her heart, with tears down her face, but she toughed it through. And I can honestly say I haven't seen a tougher runner come through. I mean, it was incredible. But, you know, the other one that's stepping up is Melissa Rodriguez. You know, she came in on paper with really fast times. You know, and I think through practice where we've kind of wondered where she was going to sit it, but man, that girl knows how to race. You put her on a course, and she came in second for us. Was almost near that first place spot. So I think we're going to see some big things from her this year.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck to you this weekend as you head out to Fayetteville to take on the Chili Pepper Festival with some more good competition. Stick around, folks. We're going to have more on the ETBU Coaches Show in just a moment.